Imagine a world where love isn't simple, where your heart can betray you, and your body refuses to cooperate with your desires. This is Gao Tu's reality. Gao Tu once had only one wish, to be accepted as he truly was, an Omega, by Shen Wenlang. He didn't ask for love or passion. All he wanted was honesty, respect, and the chance to stay by Shen Wenlang's side without pretending to be someone else. That was enough, but things changed, slowly, insidiously. Gao Tu's wish for simple acceptance turned into something much more dangerous: greed. It started small. A little desire here, a little hope there. But soon he found himself wanting more than just respect. He wanted Shen Wenlang's attention, his affection, maybe even his love. Shen Wenlang had unknowingly transformed Gao Tu from a quiet, desperate Omega into someone greedy and daring. Someone willing to lie, cheat, and even steal not just for survival, but for something far more personal. And the worst part? Gao Tu couldn't even control his own fantasies. Sometimes he imagined a future where Shen Wenlang might actually accept his love. The thought terrified him. It felt like a nightmare, a horror movie playing in his own mind. Then came the news that would change everything. Gao Tu was pregnant. It felt like his mind went completely blank. The reality of it hit harder than anything he had ever faced. He was terrified, unsure how to survive this, unsure if it even was possible. The pheromone doctor was blunt. He didn't sugarcoat it. Gao Tu's condition was serious, and the doctor urged him to terminate the pregnancy immediately. As a patient with a pheromone disorder, it's impossible for you to carry a child alone without your partner's cooperation. You can't do this by yourself, Mr. Gao. The words stung, but the doctor was right. Gao Tu had been through enough. He knew his body couldn't handle this alone. But hope is a powerful thing. Gao Tu asked about alternatives. Could artificial soothing pheromones help? Could the pheromones of another alpha support the pregnancy? The doctor sighed. It's not practical. Your reactions are severe. Vomiting, loss of appetite, insomnia, it's all extreme. Even with other alphas, your disorder makes pregnancy dangerous. Gao Tu felt a flicker of defiance. But I want this child. I can't just give up. The doctor frowned, frustrated. This isn't just a matter of desire. It's a matter of life and death. That alpha you like, he's irresponsible. He doesn't deserve your trust, or this child's future. Gao Tu lowered his head, ashamed. It's my fault, he whispered. Not his. Gao Tu didn't give up. He started thinking, planning. Could he somehow survive this pregnancy with help from Shen Wenlang? Could they use pheromone extracts? Could artificial pheromones save the child? He even went so far as to consult lawyers, drafting documents, property waivers, inheritance waivers, agreements to sever ties. He tried to make a plan to protect the child, to protect himself. But reality was cruel. Every plan he made was fragile. Every possibility seemed to crumble under the weight of his condition. Even with all his preparation, Gao Tu's hope depended entirely on Shen Wenlang, a man who had already refused to take responsibility. Finally, Gao Tu mustered the courage to talk to Shen Wenlang. He explained everything. He begged for support, for a chance to save their child. The answer was simple, cold, and final. Of course, abort it. Gao Tu felt his world collapse. After all his planning, all his hope, all his courage, it was rejected. He couldn't rely on Shen Wenlang. He couldn't even ask for help anymore. So he stopped. He stopped trying to argue, stopped trying to plead. He stopped trying to convince Shen Wenlang to care. All that remained was the harsh reality. Gao Tu would have to face this alone. Gao Tu stood outside his sister Gao Qing's clinic, lost in thought. He stared at a stain on the ground, unable to focus on anything else. His heart was heavy, his body weakened from the pregnancy, and his mind in turmoil. Every step forward felt impossible. Every breath was a reminder of the impossible choice he faced. Could he really keep this child? Could he survive alone against his body and a world that didn't care? Looking back, Gao Tu barely recognized himself. He was no longer the quiet Omega who only wanted honesty. He had been changed by love, by desire, and by his own growing hunger for connection. Shen Wenlang had turned him into a different man, greedy, desperate, and vulnerable. But deep down, Gao Tu still held onto a fragile thread of hope, a hope that maybe one day he could survive this, and maybe, just maybe, find happiness in a world that seemed determined to deny him everything. Gao Tu's story is heartbreaking, but it's also a story of courage. Even when the world says no, he fights. Even when hope seems impossible, he searches for a way forward. In the end, love isn't just about happiness. It's about survival, resilience, and the strength to keep fighting for what matters. Even when everything seems lost, will Gao Tu survive? Will he keep the child he loves so dearly? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain. Gao Tu's heart, though battered and terrified, refuses to give up. Gao Tu stood there, feeling the weight of the world pressing down on him. His body ached, his mind spun with fear and doubt, and yet a stubborn part of him refused to give up. Every thought of the child he carried filled him with both hope and dread. He imagined tiny hands, a soft laugh, a life that could be his responsibility and his joy, but the reality of his condition, the danger, and Shen Wenlang's refusal made those visions feel like a cruel joke. He remembered all the nights he lay awake, wrestling with the storm of his emotions, wondering if he was strong enough to face what was coming. He felt trapped between despair and determination, powerless yet unwilling to surrender. Each step forward felt heavier than the last, but deep inside, a quiet voice whispered that he had to keep fighting. For the child, for himself, and for the tiny chance that maybe, one day, someone might see him, not as an Omega with limitations, but as a man with courage and heart. Gao Tu's journey is far from over, and neither is the story of love, struggle, and hope that surrounds him. He has faced betrayal, fear, and impossible odds, yet his heart continues to fight. He may be battered, confused, and terrified, but he refuses to give up. Every step he takes, every decision he struggles with, shapes the person he is becoming. A man who will do everything in his power to protect the life he holds dear, no matter how impossible it seems. If you've been moved by Gao Tu's story, if you want to see how he faces these challenges, how he fights for love, and how he navigates a world that seems determined to hold him back, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Hit the notification bell so you won't miss a single chapter of his journey, and share your thoughts in the comments. What would you do if you were in Gao Tu's shoes?